Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. First of all, I wanted to thank you for being part of the Webnestify channel, and we have reached a new milestone. We have reached over 1,000 subscribers, which is huge. I did not expect to reach this so quickly, so you have my deepest gratitude. So thank you very much for supporting Webnestify channel and that you are trying to learn new things, you are testing new software, etc., etc. So in celebration for reaching this great milestone, I have something very special for you. And today we will install one of the greatest open source application that you can have. And that is the MeshCentral. MeshCentral is a remote management software where you can manage all of your devices, servers, Windows machines in one centralized user interface. When you visit meshcentral.com, you can read more. It is open source, multi-platform, self-hosted and feature-packed website for remote device management. And as you can see, many companies are using those, and also it is compatible with many software, many Linux distributions, and also the Windows, etc., etc. So in this video, I will create some virtual machines. I will create the MeshCentral server. And then we will add those machines to remotely manage from our MeshCentral server. So I hope you like it. I hope you install it and give it a try. It's a really great piece of open source software. So let's get started. So before we start installing our MeshCentral, I wanted to introduce you a little bit what features you will have and also the security, etc., etc. So as I mentioned in the intro, MeshCentral is RMM software. It is fully open source. You can check their GitHub page. And as you can see, it is very, very active. There are releases almost every month, so this software is not going anywhere. And MeshCentral is a really great alternative for paid RMM software like Pulseway, Atarim, Ninja RMM, and those kind of software. And the reason why I don't like third-party RMM software is that attackers are targeting those software companies because they want to get access to your server through RMM agent. And it is up to the company to keep the security standards and those kind of things. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can only limit communications between your server and the MeshCentral server. So now let's talk about the features. First feature is remote desktop and terminal. You can also remote file access like SFTP. You can copy files between and into the server. If you're going to have clusters of servers, you can also create text and video chat. You can create accounts for your customers so they can open ticket to you if they got something wrong with the server. It is multi-OS support, and also it comes with Intel Active Management technology. So if you have CPU with this, you can install the agent, so you can manage that. Also, what's really great about that, it is multi-user, so you can create administrators, you can create developers, and add your customers. So you can do that. And also you have activity log, so you can monitor for malicious activity. If some of your user done something wrong, you can monitor it. And what about the security features? So by default, the MeshCentral provides two-factor authentication because passwords are not sufficient to protect users anymore. And with 2FA, you can have a better security. Also, it supports Let's Encrypt. And by default, it will use SHA-385 algorithms to encrypt your traffic. Industry standard is only SHA-256, I think so. So this is a little bit on the higher level. Communication on TLS 1.12 is disabled. By default, it will use only the strong TLS 1.3. Also, you can enforce very strong passwords. You can set database encryption if you want to do it. And also it comes with HTTP content security with some security headers, which is really great out of the box, so you don't need to configure anything. Another great feature that I like is FIDO2 support. And I can add the passkey from the Bitwarden. I can enroll my hardware YubiKeys to access my main MeshCentral server where I have all of my servers. Also, you can set IP address token binding. It supports the reverse proxy. We will set it up through Nginx Proxy Manager. And also you can store the secret if you have in a HashiCorp Vault or in a Bitwarden developer. What is it called? The Bitwarden secrets. And by default, you will also get strong password hashing. So all security features and management features makes this software very, very great. And I cannot recommend it enough. And well, is done. And also, when you go to MeshCentral, I think they have also a YouTube channel. So you can also watch some advanced tutorials that I will not go over, but I will include link in the description below. So I think that's it about this MeshCentral. And remember, if you like this software, if you're going to use it, feel free to support the developer, donate if you can, etc. Or subscribe to the MeshCentral YouTube channel, share the posts, etc. Give the developer the love he deserves for this amazing piece of software. So that's enough of talking. Now we can begin with installation. So let's get started. And you will also find the documentation prepared, so you can follow along step by step. Okay, so now I assume you have your servers ready, or at least your mesh commander main server. And what's really crucial is the firewall. So as we can see, by default we only allow port 22, 80, 443 and port 81 for Nginx Proxy Manager. But if you want to have your system really tight with firewall, what I can recommend is that you will get some VPN with dedicated IP like TorGuard, or you can also check my tutorial how you can install various VPN softwares that will provide you a dedicated IP. And this is crucial because if somebody get into your main system, he will get access to all of your servers. So you really need to focus when you want to install this RMM to security. So I highly recommend getting with dedicated IP. And how you would do it, you will just replace any IPv4 with your own IP like this. And again. And again. Okay, so now you have your firewall done, and we can now proceed with the installation. In the documentation you can see some requirements, which is fresh virtual machine. For this mesh commander I highly recommend using Debian 12 because it is less bloated than typical Ubuntu 22.04 LTS, and Debian is more stable. Also, what I recommend is at least 2 gigs of RAM, and you can use x86 or ARM64 architecture. In this demonstration I set up my servers on ARM64 with Hetzner. They are very cheap, they got a lot of resources and they are powerful. And also we installed our Docker with this easy one-click installation script. So when we scroll down to npm and MeshCentral, npm is Nginx Proxy Manager. You can use it if you want to access your mesh commander via HTTPS on URL. So you will need to have a domain, and ideally you have this domain in Cloudflare. If you don't want to use it without domain, you can use it. You will just use it with IP address and self-sign SSL certificate. It is up to you, but I like to use it on a subdomain. And about Docker Compose file, is like any compose file that you can find on my tutorials. We specify the services, we have a MeshCentral. We specify the port, feel free to change this port on the left side. What you will need to change if you want to use it on domain, you specify your domain. Here in reverse proxy, you will need to specify your server IP, where npm is running. Reverse proxy TLS port 443, because everything will be communicating over port 443. And you don't want to allow iframes, it's not very secure. You don't want to allow new accounts to be publicly registered if you don't have your IP address dedicated. And WebRTC, I set it to false, we don't need it. And also you will need to change your time zone where you are. For the volumes, you usually create your local user on the server, and here you specify the volume, so you will need to create those folders. I'm gonna show it to you in a moment when we move to the terminal. And for the npm, that's almost the same. If you want to use IPv6, you can use it, but I don't need, so I set disable IPv6 to true. PUID, BGID, you want to run as non-root user. So now we can move to our terminal. And what we want to do first, we want to create our a local user with administrative privileges, and we will do it by add user mesh, enter your password. Now we want to add this user to the Docker and a wheel group, so user mode ag sudo mesh, and also we're gonna add it into our Docker group, and it will be Docker. So now what we can do is log in as our mesh user, su mesh, and we're gonna do our home. And now we will create our folder for Docker, mkdir docker, cd docker, and we will create our folders for mesh and also for the npm. So mkdir npm, mkdir, let me check what I specify there. It's gonna be MeshCentral. Okay, now when you have those folders, what you want to do is to create a Docker compose file. So it will be nano docker compose.yaml, and you go to our documentation and you just click and you copy it and you paste it in the Docker compose YAML file like this. Those labels I included if you want to run your watchtower to get automatic updates and automatic cleaning of Docker containers. It is up to you if you want to use it. And for now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to change it, which will be mesh.webnestify.net. I'm gonna add the reverse proxy IP. We go back to browser. And it's gonna be the servers. This is the main commander, so you will need to get this IP address. And we can paste it there. Time zone is fine. And here for the user, you just change it to the mesh. And also you will need to change it in the npm application. And now before we start this Docker compose, we need to save it. So Ctrl O plus enter to save it and Ctrl X to exit. And now we will need to add our DNS record in Cloudflare. Okay, let's go back to our Cloudflare. We copy the IP of the server and we're gonna add our new record. So it will be mesh, and do not proxy this record, otherwise you will have issues. You can click save, and now we can move to our terminal and we can start Docker compose ab-d, and it will pull the MeshCentral and npm application. So let's just wait and then we will continue. Okay, so now our Docker containers are up, so we can verify it by Docker ps and everything should be fine. Before we start, what we need to go is we need to set the DNS record and get our SSL for npm and our domain. So what we want to do is copy this IP address. You can go there and on port 81 where your npm installation is running. So by default it is I think admin@example.com and default password is change me. And you want to create your a new account, so it will be administrator, nickname mesh, it's gonna be Webnestify, webnestify.cloud. You can click save. And now you will need to enter the current password, which is change me. And you want to generate really strong and complicated password, because this instance is listening on port 81 without your dedicated IP address, so it's highly recommended to set it up behind your IP. And we can click save. And now we have our account. Let me zoom in so we can see better. There's some first thing, we need to go to SSL certificates. We're gonna add a new, and you want to add your subdomain like webnestify.net and also webnestify.net if you want to use it in the future use. We're gonna use a DNS challenge. We select our provider as Cloudflare, and now go back to your Cloudflare, and we will need to get or create our API key for npm installation. So get your API token. We're gonna create our token, and the template will be edit zone DNS. Gonna use template. You can include a specific zone, or you can use it for all zones from your account, or all zones. That's up to you. And I like also set up a client IP address filtering. So if the IP is in the specified range, it will generate the SSL certificate. For any other IPs, it will not. So it's really important to have this. And we can click continue to summary. I'm gonna create our token, and make sure to save this token in your password manager for later use. And we can move back to our npm. We're gonna paste our token. I agree to the let's keep terms, and we can click save. Sometimes on the first deployment you will get error, but if you click again it will work. So let's see if we get the error. Okay, as you can see, we have this error as I was talking about. We can click save again and it should work fine. And as you can see, the SSL is now working, and we have it for 3 months with our DNS, so npm will automatically renew all the certificates. Next thing what we want to do is we need to go to the dashboard. I'm gonna click the proxy host, and we will add our proxy for the MeshCentral. Okay, so domain name we specified as mesh.webnestify.net. Press enter. Scheme is HTTPS because we specified to listen on port 443, which is HTTPS. And you want to paste your server IP, and forwarder port is the port you specify on the left. So let's double check it. And we specify port 8086. So to 8086, you want to block common exploits, and you can enable the WebSockets. Click save. And oh yeah, we forget to add our SSL certificate. So we click edit, SSL, and you select the SSL we created, and you want to enable everything. Probably we don't need subdomains. We don't need it. Okay. And now when you visit the URL, you will need to first create your new account, and this account will be administrator. After this account, you won't be able to create new account publicly. So we're gonna specify username vnmesh. mesh.com, generate password in password manager, use 128 characters or more, and we're gonna click create account. Okay, let me zoom a little bit. Before we add any servers, we will secure our account. So let me change my screen. Okay, so I have changed my screen so you can see. So first we will need to add this mesh address to our Bitwarden. So we're gonna click add new, login, username will be mesh@mesh.com, password, I like to set the host, the URL, we can click save. And now when you go, I think it is here, let me check. Where is it? Okay, it's in my account, and you want to click manage authenticator app, and you want to copy the secret, and you want to add it into your Bitwarden for 2FA authentication. You can click save. Now you can copy this code, you add it here, and now your two-factor is activated. Another great thing is that you can also get your security key with Bitwarden. So you click manage security keys. You're gonna add a key and you can name it Bitwarden. Click OK. And now Bitwarden will ask you if you want to save this passkey. You click save and you have it. If you have your hardware YubiKey, you can add another key, you can name it YubiKey, etc. And last important step, what you need to do is to manage your backup codes. So you generate new tokens, you can save those, open your Bitwarden again, click edit, and you can save it there. And that should be it for securing your MeshCentral account. And now we can continue to my devices, and we will start to adding our server endpoints. So what I recommend to do at the beginning is to add the device group. Group is that will set all the servers for the specific group. So for example, we can name it this client 1. And you can choose different types, manage using software agent, Intel AMT, or local devices, no target. In this demonstration, we will install the software agent. And you can add a description. This is fsum custom, for example. You can click OK. And as you can see, it is a little bit small. UI is not very modern, but it is very powerful, so bear that in mind. And also we're gonna add our new group, client 2, and the same, and click OK. Once you have your groups created for your all servers, we can start adding our agents. So what you want to do is add agent. And here you can select Windows, Linux, macOS binary, Apple macOS, mobile device, Windows, etc. So you can also enroll your company phones. You can enroll anything. But in this case, we have Linux, and you will get your comment. You can click copy, and we can proceed to terminal. But before we proceed, I want to mention again the firewall. If you're going to set everything behind the IPs, it's really important to also whitelist your agent IP. So for example, we can whitelist this IP address. We go back to our firewall, and you can feel free to remove this HTTPS port on 443, and you can add rule, for example, of client 1, which is your group in your MeshCentral, and here you will be adding those IP addresses and on port 443. MeshCentral is only communicating on port 443. So if you want to create your A-tight systems, you will need whitelist the agent IP address on port 443. And you can click Save Changes. So let's go back to installation, and we copy the command. We switch back to our terminal, and we're gonna set it agent 1. You paste it and press enter, and it will create secure and encrypted connection with our MeshCentral. Let's go back to our browser. And as you can see, we already have our agent 1 server, and we're gonna add server for our second customer. So it will be Linux. You can click copy, go back to terminal, and add it to our second server. Okay, FSAM. So as you can see, we have our 2 servers in our MeshCentral. And what's really great about this, that when you open it, you can create actions, you can set up nodes, you can log events. As I mentioned, you can also chat, and you can run commands, you can run your scripts automatically from your MeshCentral server. Alright, so now when we go to terminal, when you click connect, as you can see, you have now in your shell, in your system. So this is really important why you want to have really secure system, because you don't need any authentication to connecting to your server. Usually on port 22 you need to connect via SSH with your password or a public key, but here your agent is creating this communication tunnel when you can just enter your terminal as root. So really, seriously, think about security. So that's it about this. We can exit, and for the files, you can also connect via SFTP, and you can upload files, you can download your files from your server, so it is really powerful. When you go to the events, you can monitor the events that we started a session, we started a file management session, so we can see everything what's going on if you're going to add new users. And for the details, you can see some various system specification. And also you have a console here, but we are not using the console because we don't have agent for it. Okay, now what you can also do when you go to your agent, and you can add new users. So you're gonna create new user, you specify it, you add a password, and then you can add some permissions, right? So let's do mesh2. So let's use some strong password just for demonstration. And we can click add. And here, when you click the user, you can set the permission. You can set for server files. for server backup, even if it's manager or not, so you can granularly control what this user can do. Okay, and also for the My Server, you can also download your backups if you want. And also you can see my files, for example, client 2. You can upload new folder, etc. also from here. And for my events, you can see everything what's going on in your Mesh Commander account. So I think that's a really simplified setup. What you can do, you can check the MeshCentral documentation to learn more. I just went over some basic things that you can do. And yeah, I really hope that you will like it. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, any technical issues, feel free to leave comments down below. I'll be happy to answer. And again, I wanted to thank you very much for your continuous support. And together we reached a great milestone, which is 1,000 subscribers on Webnestify channel. I really appreciate your support. You are the best. And yeah, if you like the MeshCentral, the best way how you can support the developer of this amazing software is always if you can donate some amount, and also if you can spread the love, sharing the posts, give him subscribe on his channel, and everyone will be happy. So future updates will follow as usual. And yeah, thank you very much again for watching, and yeah, I really appreciate everything. And yeah, stay tuned for the next some tutorials. Take care and bye bye.